So, of course, we have two new teams, the Seattle Torrent and the Vancouver Golden Eyes, starting their season on Friday. And yeah, I mean, a lot of fans were very upset. Fans of the original 6 teams were upset after the expansion draft process because they got, just a ton of talent. And it was designed to be that way. The point was they wanted these teams to be competitive off the bat. They've always wanted to have a competitive league where any team could win on any night. And I would say the PWHL has achieved that. But here's the question for you, Hailey. Do you think that we could see one of these teams win the Walter Cup in their very first season?
Yeah. I think that was the point. As you said, Karissa, I remember talking to Stan Kasten about this, and he was like, if we're going to do this, if we're going to expand, these teams need to be able to compete. And I do kind of commend the league for saying that's their intention and actually doing it, because these teams are stacked. We think of Seattle specifically, their top line is Hillary Knight, Hannah Bilka, and Alex Carpenter. That is the top line for Team USA. This is a potential Olympic gold medal winning top line. And then in Vancouver, you have Sarah Nurse, you have Venisheva, you have Hannah Miller. There's just goal scorers up and down the lineup. So yeah, I think these teams can absolutely win. Again, great goaltending, great defense, poaching the top 3 defenders from the championship Frost from last year, including the entire pair of Sophie Jakes and Melissa Channel-Watkins. Claire Thompson's unbelievable. I would say that Vancouver looks the best on paper in the league for sure. The rules were by design, but Cara Morey really, she looked at the rules, and the way that she drafted was so interesting to me. She very clearly was taking valuable quote unquote depth pieces. Denisa Kryzheva, Gabby Rosenthal. She wasn't taking the big expensive stars in the expansion draft, and she left a boatload of money to go and sign all of the big free agents off the board. So the way she built that team was super smart, and I think it's ultimately going to help them win a Walter Cup.
For Vancouver, I really wrestled with them and Montreal in terms of, who would be my top ranked team.
Yeah.
Vancouver, I don't really see any obvious holes.
Yeah.
Compared to the other teams, there's really nothing I can quibble with. You've got a lot of players who can move up and down the lineup. I think potentially the best goaltending tandem in the league. And then looking at their blue line, you talked about Claire Thompson, Melissa Channel-Watkins, Sophie Jakes, Ashton Bell, and Sydney Bard from it's an incredible blue line. I think the question for me is going to be, you're coming in and everything's new, and you have a new coach and you have new systems, and you have, you're building chemistry and things like that. And we saw in the first season of the PWHL that does take some time. I mean, I think there's just too much talent on both of these teams for them to not be in the Walter Cup playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And every other team's kind of in flux too. I know some teams kept their cores together, but there's a lot of players in and out. So everyone's going to be figuring it out in some way or another. It's just a little bit more exacerbated for Vancouver and Seattle.